That's the way to not stand with all your might. Anything shout, reignite, truth in the battle, try to ignite, rebels rise, hear the sound, metal echoes all around.
Nice.
That's fun. I don't care. That's fun.
Welcome to another edition of Metalheads tonight. I guess as you can see, and if you
hey, there we go.
I was in a damn dark. I do like it because it glares off all of my posters, but that's all right.
Eduardo, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey. And there's the.
Oh, what's up, Dana? Oh, he just said good evening. He just said good evening to me. He doesn't.
I know. Like,
oh, there he goes. There he is.
Disgusting Dana Horn.
Yeah. Aloha, Amy.
Hello, Amy, and everybody.
We got some activity early in the chat.
Early.
I like that. That's good stuff.
In early.
Hopefully, everybody got to take a second gander at the temporary new intro that we have. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I dig it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was the best out of the four that I tried. So
yeah.
I was trying to get one that actually included our name, and that was the only one that actually did it. And it was actually the heaviest out of the four too. So
then it works.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. I do.
But
I like it. It's good stuff.
I did have a 2-hour talk with somebody the other day about the not really about the intro, but that came up. So hopefully soon.
Chris, you changed your last name. No, sir. I actually just changed it back to the current spelling. When Mike was on the show last week, I changed it to the French Canadian spelling, since Mike is actually from the area that my ancestors on my father's side came to America. So in honor of him being on the show, I changed it back to the quote unquote old world spelling. This is actually the Americanized version of our last name that we are using now. So no, same last name, just, using the current spelling. But thank you for asking, though. I appreciate that.
Because when he came here, they said, "Who in the hell uses EAUX as a damn?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is that what it was?
It was just EAU, but still,
EAU.
They did a little bit of the that a little American condensing when they.
You'd be surprised how many people's names got shortened like that.
Sure.
From like I said, my ancestors are Irish, so they actually had to change their name to get work when they came here because nobody
right.
Irish people. There was a sign that says no Irish need apply. It was Nina.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've come a long way, thankfully.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, in some things.
Well, we still come a long way. That doesn't mean we don't have shit to work on, but yeah, we've definitely come a long way.
Always room to grow. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's pretty.
But yes, welcome in to everyone who's in the chat. Welcome to everybody watching out there in, I would say TV land, but this isn't TV. So in internet land, I guess. But internet land. But yeah, we are back once again, fresh off the heels of our last live guest, Mike Decker from Born Broken last week. We had a great chat with him, even though he did have to leave a little bit quicker than he probably expected, because he was in the rehearsal. He was in the rehearsal space, and they were kind of moving him along. So I mean, we talked to him for a good 90 minutes, so it's not bad.
We'll try to catch him at a different. Maybe a different time, location next time. So
yeah, I have the distinct feeling we'll be talking to him again sooner than later, and so it was good to talk to him.
I think I'm just going to lead out with, "Hey, you got any stories for us?" and just let it happen.
I know. I mean, because we asked him, he was just, he's just firing them off rapid fire, like one after the other. He's like, there was this one time, there was another time, and then this happened. It's like, Jesus Christ, calm down.
Oh, it was great though, man. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
I just feel like that guy. He's 40 plus years in the business. So I'm sure he's got I'm sure he's got a pocket full of stories.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. I bet that was more than likely just the tip of the iceberg of
Yeah,
the stuff that
he
he's
probably didn't even scratch the surface of stuff.
probably not. I would be willing to bet not. But so yeah, we are back with the classic format this week. Not to get too far ahead, but we do have a guest lined up for next Friday.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you who, but we do have one for next week. So if you guys want to, if you guys are more than willing to tune in for that, we will be around for that. So that'll be fun.
Oh, and it'll be a special time too. So.
That's right. We had to make a slight little tweak. We're going to be on at 8 instead of 10. So Amy, that'll be like 3 p.m. your time. So and everybody else, check your local listings. Just Google what time zone you guys are in relation to Nashville, Tennessee, and you guys will be fine.
When I was negotiating all that, I said, "Man, I bet Chris is loving this." He's like, "Oh man, I can go to bed early."
You're right. Unless we mess up and have the first 4.5 or 5 hour interview that we've ever had.
Oh my god, that would be. I mean, I'm gonna have to cut before that happens. So.
Oh, I know. I'm just kind of being facetious, but
I had plans later in the evening. I did not, or actually, I forgot about. So
that's fine.
I knew about it. Oh shit, that is this week. Yeah. So I read it quick and asked him, was it cool to do it at 8? And he said, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. I mean, the gentleman you were talking to said, "Hey, you just tell me when to be on, and I'll be there." So I mean, that's kind of nice. I mean, that pretty much leaves it wide open. So it's kind of nice.
I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, and we still have some other irons in the fire. Jason, the guest that we have was Jason's email that he cast out there. I've got one that's floating in the water right now that hasn't gotten a bite yet. So we're working on it for you guys. Yeah. So we're always working as far as that goes. So.
The interviews are not over.
No.
I may not be home at that time, or I might be busy getting ready for. Okay. I mean, that's
Yep. Be nice. Yeah, Halloween is creeping up fast. And of course, we all know what's behind that. Of course, Thanksgiving, but we all know what's behind that. Christmas. We all know what's behind that. The end of the year review.
Yeah, which is usually what the Christmas week and New Year's week we usually take off for that because it's a lot to try to compile. So
yeah,
it's usually the only time we take off 2 weeks in a row. It's usually
even though we've taken off 2 weeks in a row like 3 times this year already.
Well, I said there been some circumstances this year, so
right.
I can't help nose surgery for one. I mean,
absolutely. So yeah, it looks like our year in review show tentatively we'll write it in pencil right now would probably be Friday, January 3rd. So yep. Unless something changes, but I mean, we'll kind of see how that goes, but that would definitely make sure that, cause I guarantee you, because the last Friday of 2024 is the 27th. So there's going to be stuff coming out on that day and you never know. Cause I mean, like with the luck that we've had, there will be an absolute banger that comes out on the 27th that will throw a massive wrench into both of our top 10s or whatever. And we would probably have to be like, well, shit, now what do I do? So yeah, probably. I mean,
you got a non-point behind the tree, like that meme behind the tree.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, we have to make sure that we cover all 52 Fridays in the year to make sure that we cover all the bases. You never know who's going to come out with what and how good it's going to be until we hear it. So it only makes sense for us to have the year in review show be the first Friday of what's going to be our 5th freaking year. I cannot believe that we're about to be starting our 5th year. That's nuts, man.
Yeah, we don't do any premature polls like some other places and things do. So.
No, we don't.
That's not just at metal. That's just premature
polls. Yeah, Amy.
We don't do premature album reviews like Loudwire and shit.
No, we don't. Yeah,
they'll have their shit out. They probably already have it. Already compiled or some shit.
They might. I mean, they might. Yeah, Dana, you mentioned that, you bring that up. I do know. I actually we did figure out what happened as far as the audio issue we had at the Sling and Ink in the pit. We figured that out. Long story short, we won't have that problem going forward. And I'm actually thinking about, I mean, we should probably talk about this off the air, but it's just gonna be real quick anyway. But I'm thinking about, in addition to having the issues fixed with the live stream, I'm actually thinking about securing a digital video camera and doing a separate recording just in case. So I actually thought about that today. I don't know who has a digital video camera. I may be able to ask around and see if someone has one.
I got one. I don't know if it's not up to date, but I mean.
So, well, I mean, as long as it's something we can put on a tripod and has an SD card, I figure that would be fine. So,
I mean, as far as that goes, you can set your phone up and do it. I mean,
well, yeah, technically true. I'd have to figure out some way to, put it up and out of the way. But anyway, those are logistical things that I'm going to try to figure out in the next couple of weeks before we do head down there to Manchester, which is on Saturday, November 9th, by the way. I mean, we'll talk about that again between now and then, but that is coming up. So I do want to have some sort of contingency, and even like a different, even just for like a different, camera angle too. So I kind of want to have because the Sling and Ink at the pit, I did have a lot of people standing in the way, and that's not their fault. But
they will enjoy the show.
Yeah. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. But we just had a table and people were standing in the way. Some dude actually did have I didn't even tell you this, Jason. Some dude did try to break out a drone at that show.
Oh my god.
And he had it up for a little bit. I think someone told him, because he asked me, he's like, "Do you care if I launch from here?" He's like, "Dude, I don't give a shit." And I think someone may have told him that they didn't want him to do that. So he did have it up in the air for a little bit, but it was a short-lived venture.
A lot of people on the stage consider that a little distracting. So
yeah, so he asked me if it was okay, and I was like, "I'm fine with it, but it's not my call." So I think someone.
The bands would have to be okay.
Yeah, so I think someone kind of like talked him out of that, but I do want to try to get a video camera set up some way so where I can get over the crowd. That way, like I say, I'm still thinking that this goal, because like last time I recorded to edit and repost. This time I think I'm gonna live stream, because even No, Dana, it wasn't from you, because I didn't see you talk to the guy, and I'm not even sure who it was, but I did see somebody at some point.
It had to be a band.
It may have been, because I remember seeing somebody talk to the guy after he had it up for a little bit, and then he landed it and put it away. So I don't know who it was, but yeah, Dana, I know it wasn't you. But so I'm thinking we live stream this next one, because I mean, even if I live stream it, it'll be available after the fact to do what I wanted to do, which is chop it up into each band's segment to send to them, because that's what I was going to do with this last one before we realized that the audio was unsalvageable. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, to live stream and then to record, because I'd like to get like maybe a 10 or 12 foot tripod so I can clear everybody's heads. So it's kind of what
or like I said, we can do the selfie stick with your camera yourself too. So.
That's true. So that's going to be something I'm going to look into between now and then. So long story short, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I want to do better for us and for the show. I felt bad that the footage that I took, and I still have it. I haven't gotten rid of it, because part of me hopes that at some point we may be able to find someone who could work with it. But I mean, that's way beyond the knowledge base that I have. So I mean, I don't know if there's anything out there that we can use to clear up that audio, because it wasn't all the way through. It was so in and out that it really wasn't usable the way it is. So I don't know if someone out there might be able to fix it, some sort of audio engineer.
I haven't played with it. I haven't played with it a whole lot. I got it downloaded, but I haven't really played with it a whole lot. So.
Yeah. So, well, I
tried a couple of things and it didn't work, and I was like,
well, and I mean, it is a 4.5 hour video, because it was from start to finish. So I mean, and I didn't stop recording like in between sets or anything like that. So I mean, but those were going to be my start and stop edit points. But it just, so I felt really, really bad because I mean, Eric from Mr. Gray was like, "Hey, can you send me our set?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then it didn't come out. I was like, "Fuck," So I felt really, really bad. I felt really bad, and I still feel bad about it. So I'm gonna make sure that I try to do a better job for us and for the bands this go around. So.
And Dana, a selfie stick is this thing you put your cell phone in and it records like real high up or something. I know how dirty your mind is. I just want to make sure you do.
Yeah, you guys are making me laugh in our chat thread earlier. You guys were going back and forth insulting each other. It was funny as hell. I thought it was funny.
Good time. Anyway, I guess we better get into this thing. And
Yeah.
get rolling. So I do have the birthdays. Actually, I already had the birthdays from last week on here too. So I mean, I can go through both of them again, or we can just go through whatever.
I'll leave it up to you, man. Because I mean, last week's list wasn't super long. So if you wanna add them both together, that's fine.
We can do that, I guess. So October 5th, we had Brian Connolly, vocalist for Sweet from 68 to 79. He passed away in 1997. Brian Johnson, singer-songwriter for AC/DC. We had Fast Eddie Clark, a guitarist for passed away in Motorhead. He unfortunately passed away in 2018. Troy Lucetta, drummer for Tesla. Audie Petre, bassist for Acid Bath. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1997. October 6th, we had Daniel Cavanaugh, guitarist and vocalist for Anathema. We had our good friend Stellan Gunnarsson, guitarist for Hex. October 7th, we had Tico Torres, drummer for Bon Jovi. October 8th, we had Erna Sicoberta. Sorry, this shit always prints out too damn small. Keyboardist for Death Like Silence from 06 to 08 and Lordy from 97 to 05. October 9th, we had Sharon Osbourne, of course, manager and wife of Ozzy Osbourne. We had Al Jurgensen, vocalist for Ministry. Terry Balsamo, guitarist for Evanescence. Davish Alvarez, guitarist for Angela Sapatrita. October 10th, we had David Lee Roth, vocalist for Van Halen, and of course, a solo project. We had Eric Martin, vocalist for Mr. Big. His son, vocalist, guitarist, and keyboards for Emperor. Lizzie Hale, vocalist and guitarist for Hailstorm. And then October 11th, we have Mike Smith, guitarist for Snot and Limp Bizkit. That will lead us into this week. October 12th, we had Jeff Keith, vocalist for Tesla. October 13th, we had Sammy Hagar. Of course, he's vocalist for Van Halen from 85 to 96. And of course, he's done a solo project. We had Joey Belladonna, vocalist for Anthrax. October 14th, we had Colin Hodgkinson, bassist for Whitesnake. Dan McCafferty, vocalist for Nazareth. He unfortunately passed away in 2022. Al Atkins, vocalist for Judas Priest from 69 to 73. AJ Pero, drummer for Twisted Sister. He unfortunately passed away in 2017 or 15. Sorry, 2015. October 15th, we had Frank Domino, vocalist for Angel. Jerky 69, which vocalist for the 69 Eyes. Dax Riggs, vocalist for Acid Bath. October 16th, we had Tony Carey, a keyboardist and singer-songwriter for Rainbow. Chad Gray, vocalist for Hell Yeah and Mudvayne. Ethan Luck, guitarist for Demon Hunter from 05 to 09. October 17th, we had Alan West, guitarist for Obituary and South Wicked. Burton, keyboardist for him. It just says Burton, so it's got the real name next to it, but it's something I can't pronounce. So I'm not gonna
Right.
It's Burton. Marcella Bovio, vocalist and violinist for Stream of Passion and Mayans. Michael McKeon, vocalist and guitarist for Sparkle Tap. So that is what I had for this week. I don't know if I missed anybody. If you got anything to add personally.
No, not personally, but what was that birthday you added today from the one band that we were talking about earlier? Unless you wanna not give it away.
I'm glad you said that. I forgot to add it.
Like I say, unless you want to not give it away, because it kind of gives away the.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's up to you.
At this point.
I'll leave that up to you. So
Yeah, just trying to find
did it disappear on you?
no, I'm just trying to get his last name because they didn't put it on there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Justin DePinto, drummer for High Reaper. That was also
There it is. Yeah, rest in peace.
Thanks for reminding me because I forgot.
Yep. Rest in peace, Chris Oliva. That's right.
Yeah, October 17th of 90.
That is correct. He was only like 30 when he died. I mean, he was super duper young.
I don't even know if he made it to 30. Did he?
Like 30, I think, maybe 63 to 93.
Yeah.
When he was born, 63, 93. Yeah. But yeah,
You're going to hear that. Actually, I put that up there because you're going to hear sabotage a lot in this podcast. So.
Nothing wrong with that.
So
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Just kind of a heads up.
Yeah, but no. Other than that, no personal birthdays for me this week.
All right, we'll end that little segment here. Then, happy birthday to all those people, and if anybody I missed, I apologize. Happy birthday to you and anybody out there and listening. Birthday this week.
That's right.
This week, crack into some metal news. I know you probably got the biggest story of the week over there sitting on it. So
I do. I mean, obviously, like you say, this was the biggest one of the week, and everybody, all of our go-to outlets had it, but Blabbermouth covered it the best because they kept giving updates and everything. So I'm gonna go with the latest story that I found on it. Like I say, this is over from blabbermouth.net amongst other outlets because they all had it. Jakey Lee has offered an update on his health 2 days after being shot in Las Vegas. The 67-year-old former Ozzy Osbourne guitarist was hit 3 times in a shooting about 10 miles from the Las Vegas Strip early on Tuesday, October 15th. He was later taken to a hospital's intensive care unit where he is fully conscious and doing well, Lee's representative confirmed in a statement, adding that he's expected to fully recover. Earlier on October 17th, Jake posted a photo of his dog on the Red Dragon Cartel Facebook page and included the following message. Quote, checking, is this thing on? Been a while since I posted here. Let's see. I deeply appreciate all the concern and well wishes. Makes everything going on a little better. To clarify, I was shot 3 times. I was on my way back home from walking my dog Coco. I didn't name him, so don't. I don't want to go into details now. I'm tired, but I feel relatively very lucky. The police found 15 shell casings at the scene, which means he emptied his clip on me. I could only dodge so many, so 1 bullet went through my forearm, 1 through my foot, and 1 in the back, which broke a rib and damaged a lung. Priority now is to keep draining my lung until it's done crying. Then we can pull that tube out and concentrate on the more minor injuries. And by the way, Coco's fine and appreciates your inquiries, end quote. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Lee was in his driveway about to walk his dog at about 2:40 a.m. when he was shot in the forearm, in the back with the bullet breaking a rib, and in the foot. None of the shots hit a vital organ. A neighbor heard the shots, hit his kids, grabbed a gun, and called 911. Lee's dog was unharmed. Lee's management said in a statement that police think the shooting was completely random and occurred while Lee took his dog out for a walk in the early morning hours. No further comments will be forthcoming. Lee and his family appreciate respecting their privacy at this time, his management said. The Las Vegas Police Department later released a statement in which they said, quote, officers responded to a shooting incident in the 11,000 block of Alora Street. Officers arrived and located a male victim suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. The male was transported to the hospital. No arrests have been made at this time. This is an ongoing investigation. So I don't know if Jake had any security cameras. I know a lot of people have like the Ring cameras and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how affluent his neighborhood is. I don't know how close the houses are. So I don't know if anyone's like, I don't know if any surveillance camera like caught the vehicle or anything else, so they can at least kind of be on the lookout for any sort of vehicle. So I don't know, man. I mean, it just seems kind of silly that you would have to go through that. I mean, just some random dude going by. And like Jake said in the thing, I mean, you know, they found 15 casings. So for whatever reason, somebody cleared out an entire magazine shooting at him. So, I mean, who knows? But I mean, I'm glad he's okay. I hope they find the asshole or assholes that did it. Because I mean, it's just stupid. And you know, like Danny, just what were the neighbors' kids doing up and outside at 240? I don't. That's a good question. I mean, but I mean, and people are probably, well, why was he walking his dog at 240? Because he's a grown ass man, and he probably wanted to walk his dog in his own neighborhood while there wasn't anybody else out. So, I mean, you know, so as far as I'm concerned, he should be able to do that if he wants. I mean, you shouldn't have to worry about, you know, he was in his own driveway, for Christ's sake.
Right.
You know, it's not like he was.
Maybe they were shooting. Maybe they were shooting at the guy trying to get his kids in. Who knows?
Maybe I don't know, but I don't know. It's just very strange, and I'm just glad Jake's okay.
It's crazy. All right, my first one is over from Metal Hammer. Metallica frontman James Hetfield insists that the thrash metal icons will never resort to simply playing just the hits and becoming another legacy band. While the beloved metal heroes have more than enough hits under the belt to comfortably sell out arena tours without ever releasing a new track, Papa Het vows that will never happen. The band are currently on a massive world tour in support of their latest album, 72 Seasons, only released last year, and already some of the songs from the record have become staples in the band's live set. While they still have a desire to make new music and the fans still open their hearts to the new material, Metallica won't allow the creative juices to stop flowing. Hetfield tells the Metallica Report podcast, quote, the fact that the 72 Seasons album is well received and some of the songs that we're playing live work and they kind of fit seamlessly in with all the catalog and all the albums that we have. We know people want to hear the best of, and you've got to challenge them to listen to some of the new stuff as well. We certainly don't want to be a legacy band and just play its greatest hits and that's it. So if you ever wonder about if they're going to just step back and just play all their hits, that's probably not going to happen no time soon. So,
I mean, that's good. That's a good thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to. I mean, the thing with music is you play it because you love it, and then you just happen to be Metallica and gotten a golden hand. I mean that every band don't get, unfortunately, but I mean you're still in it for the main reason that everybody else is. You like to play music, and
right,
it's part of who you are. So you stop playing music, you start being who you are. So
absolutely,
and like you said too, your creative juices kind of stop flowing if you just kind of just go with what you've been recording for 30, 40 years. So
yeah, and they're definitely in a good position where they can do what they're doing. I mean, they're going from city to city. I mean, with a few exceptions, because the upcoming tour isn't doing 2 nights in every city, but they're in a great spot where they can spend 3 days in one city, because obviously they play a show, they have a day off, they have another show. But they can go to a city for 3 days, which means they don't have to be in a super huge rush, and they can recuperate in between the 2 concerts. And they're playing 2 completely different sets each night. They've been doing it for so long, and they have so much material. Of course, they're not the only band that has that much material. I mean, Megadeth could, Iron Maiden could, Judas Priest could. Hell, even Pantera technically could probably, but it'd be a little bit more of a stretch for them. But I'm glad that they are on this tour. Still pissed off about the ticket prices, but I'm not gonna go off on a rant about that because I'm pissed about that. But they're in a good position where they can do that. And even moving forward, the 72 Seasons is not their best album. It was good. I thought Hardwired was better. But still, I mean, it's a good album. And I'm glad that they still have the desire to make new music. So hopefully, it came out in 23, we're into 24, almost at 25, maybe 26, 27, we see another Metallica album. Hopefully we do.
They said they weren't going to wait as long next time. So,
well, I hope not, but so
I mean, they can't wait too much longer. They're in their 60s.
No, they can't. So it's good that they know that they can't rest on any laurels, and it's good that they know that I do like the perspective that they have, and I do agree. You still have to sprinkle in, hardwired self-destruct, like Moth into the Flame, and then Lux Eterna, and so you do have to have like a smattering of the new stuff in with the classics.
Well, my thing is I wouldn't want to go see them if they just played Master of Puppets and Enter Sandman and nothing else matters.
Right? Yeah.
If they play the same shit over and over, why would I go?
Right.
I've seen it already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So and
you
so
want it
the
to be different. I mean,
right, and they and again, to allude to the amount of stuff that they have, they can throw in some deep cuts because like Megadeth even played "Angry Again" at that show that we were at a couple weeks ago. I was like, I didn't expect that at all. I mean, I got pretty much every song I expected, and then a few surprises, which is nice. So I mean, with Metallica, you're gonna get the same thing. You're gonna get all the songs you expect, especially with a 2-night bill. You're going to get every song you expect, and for the most part, you would want to hear. But now they have the ability to throw in deep cuts, stuff they have played before, but maybe not in a long time. So it's a cool recipe.
Mm.
I like
well,
it.
so, I've talked about this before, but I've seen Nonpoint probably have a dozen times. And like I've never seen them play the same exact set. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got and I mean they're what 13 albums in too now, so
Mm-hmm.
they got a lot of ammunition too. So it's
Yeah.
not. When you got that much stuff, it's not hard not to play the same stuff over and over. So,
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of like the same thing. Like the last two times we've gone to see Machine Head, it was
yeah.
their evening with Machine Head format. So it was literally just them for 3 hours.
Mhm.
Now, granted, when we saw them in Alabama, they split it up because it was that
Right.
Burn My Eyes. So the first half was all of Burn My Eyes. The second half was the regular set with the usual suspects and stuff like that. That's an awesome format. I like that. I hope when Machine Head comes, not if, they will, because just Rob, I don't think can help himself. I don't think he can sit still long enough. So I mean, they'll be back through either.
I mean, they got a show coming up in Atlanta.
Yeah, so they're going to be around this way again at some point, and I'll be there in whatever form or fashion. But I like the evening with format. I really do.
Who else was doing that? Somebody we was just talking about announced that too.
I don't remember, to be completely honest with you. I remember us talking about it. I just can't remember what band it was.
Was it Godsmack?
Maybe it was. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
I mean,
And
not a bad deal. I mean, if you're a fan, it's not a bad deal. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, Godsmack's got a hell of a catalog too. I mean, from 98 up to now. So there's no reason why they can't carry a set for 3 hours. I mean, I'd go watch that.
Yeah.
All right, moving over to the PRP for the next two. Mutilation Barbecue have suffered the unfortunate fate of having their trailer broken into, losing roughly $13,000 worth of instruments and gear. The theft happened in Kansas City, Missouri, overnight from the 15th through the 16th. So that would have been Tuesday to Wednesday. Yeah. Tuesday to Wednesday, the theft happened in Kansas City, Missouri overnight, just as the death metal band were gearing up to hit the road with Soulfly, I Hate God, and more. Unfortunately, an air tag hidden in their gear wound up being a dead end. The group have since launched this GoFundMe where they stated, and the GoFundMe as of right now is at $2,963 raised of a $10,000 goal. So they're roughly 30% to their goal already. Let's see. Quote, "Hey, we're a death metal band grinding it out on the road, band on tour. Unfortunately, our trailer got broken into last night and we were robbed of around $13,000 worth of equipment. At approximately 3:32 a.m. local time, our trailer was broken into at a Hampton Inn in Kansas City, Kansas. An AirTag took us to an insulation company in Kansas City, Missouri, where we found it ditched on the sidewalk outside. The vehicle appears to be a gold or silver Ford F-250, F-350 CCLB pickup truck, no newer than 2006. Here's a list of the gear that was stolen. An Orange Terror 500-watt bass head with speak on to 1/4 inch cable installed." I'm not going to read all of these, of course, because it's actually a pretty decent list. Let's see. We got a bass. We got a 1998 black Jackson DKMG Dinky with Goto tremolo, EMG and bridge position and no neck pickup. An amp, a PV6505 4x12 straight cabinet. That's probably pricey. Sonar Force 3000 drum kit. God damn, their entire drum kit. Snare drum, hardware bag with various stands, double bass pedals. Protection racket cases, 8 and 16-inch toms, Mesa Boogie, an amp, another amp, pedal board, all sorts of pedals. Let's see, double guitar stand, duffel bag with all of our guitar players' clothes. Damn, they even took the guitar players' clothes. That sucks. We're hopeful that our gear can be recovered. We can't sit around and wait for it to show up. And we have 6 weeks worth of shows ahead of us. Your donation will get us some new gear and help us keep the show on the road. Even if you can't donate, please share our posts and keep an eye out for our gear. Thank you so much. End quote. A separate statement on social media with footage of the theft was also posted. Quote, every touring band's worst fear has happened to us today. This morning we came out to our trailer to find out pretty much all of our gear missing in Kansas City. All of Harrison's drum set, hardware pedals, one cab, couple guitars, all guitar heads, pedal boards, and more. Overall, probably $13,000 of gear stolen. To put the sprinkles on the cake, and also on our way to the biggest tour that we have ever done, supporting bands that we have idolized since being kids. We are heartbroken and honestly don't know what to do. We've always tried to make deal with what we have in any given situation and hate to ask for handouts, but this is literally our only option. If anyone could spare a couple bucks or even a repost, it would help tremendously. Sincerely, Barbecue. Cash App, $ Harrison Good 44, PayPal Mutilation Barbecue, capital M, capital B. Venmo at Harrison-Good-1. Last 4 digits of number is 2426. I don't know what that means. I don't have Venmo. And then on Zelle, 440-361-1363. And then, they do have a Twitter. No, this is an Instagram. I'm sorry. They do have an Instagram inset at the bottom of the story here, which I'm not going to play it. Well, maybe I will. Yeah, that's definitely a full-size quad cab Ford. It is footage. Man, he just pulls right up. Man, that blows. I hate that for them. Because like I said, this is their biggest tour that they're about to embark on, and then something like this happens. And I'll tell you what, I've stayed at Hampton Inns before. They're nice hotels, but I tell you what, they need to do something. Maybe get some on-site security or something, because this is far from the first time we've heard of bands getting their shit robbed, taken at a Hampton Inn. Not blaming the hotel per se, because I mean there is video footage of it. So I mean they do have surveillance, but maybe if they just had somebody driving around in a just an SUV with some lights on it, if nothing else, maybe from like 8 to 8, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., something like that. But man, I really feel bad for these. I'm assuming they're kids. I don't know. I don't know how long they've been a band. By judging by the picture at the top of the story, they look relatively young. They look like they're all in their 20s. So I feel bad for these guys potentially not getting to continue on the tour, because that would suck.
I mean, the guy obviously didn't know, the band, because if he knew the band, he wouldn't have done stuff like that. Because I wouldn't rob a band named Mutilation Barbecue. I'm afraid I'd be on the menu. So
fucking A.
So Kansas City is a rough area. Yes. Oh man, crazy.
Yeah, I hate that.
Kansas City, Missouri. Is that right?
The Hampton Inn was in Kansas City, Missouri. The AirTag, they traced their AirTag all the way to Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay.
So they found the AirTag on the other side of town, which just so happens to be the way geographically Kansas City is set up, on the other side of the river there. So wait, on the other side of the river? Anyway, that might have been on the other side of town for sure.
We're right. In another state. So
yeah, in another state. Same city, different state. So yeah, it's kind of weird the way the geography of Kansas City is set up.
All right. My next one is over from Metal Injection. Avenged Sevenfold is celebrating 25 years as a band with a digital museum exclusively available in the smash hit video game Fortnite. This coincides with the inclusion of Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare joining their other track, Hail to the King, in the Fortnite Festival event. Avenged Sevenfold promises that you don't have to be a gamer to check out the museum, but you still need to download Fortnite to see it. The digital museum shouldn't be much of a surprise to any Avenged Sevenfold fan either. The band has been going hard on Web3 functionality and features over the past few years, including a digital fan club and exclusives for owners like shows only they can get into. Uh, quote, 25 years has flown by, wrote Avenged Sevenfold as of the museum and anniversary. We wanted to do something to mark the occasion of our vast history uh, by not just looking backwards, but also forward. We started throwing around the idea of a gallery or museum of sorts to display art in eras of the band, but it was important to us to reach more people virtually. With the museum, fans are able to control their own narrative as well as unlock hidden meanings, recordings, and Easter eggs. This project quickly got larger and larger as we worked with our friend Ryan McKinnon over the last year. What we have now is basically a fully virtual gallery experience and escape room. We hope you enjoy taking a trip down memory lane with us. You do not need to be a gamer to enjoy this. This is more casual so that with a little problem solving, you can make your way through the experience. We hope some of you can create playthrough guides, though, which we will repost. Today, Nightmare has also been included on Fortnite Game Festival. It will join Hail to the King. To experience the museum, please download Fortnite on any device. Then, when prompted with the search bar, please enter island code 5592-6865-3961. Top to 25 more. So it's pretty cool. They gave you the code.
Yeah.
So, been Sevenfold fans or Fortnite fans. There you go.
Yeah. Of course, if you type that code in wrong, you just end up playing Mike Tyson in Punch Out. Hey, if you know, you know.
That's right.
If you know what I'm talking about. All right. But yeah, that's kind of cool that Avenged Sevenfold is doing that. I don't know if it's cool enough for me to download Fortnite just for that. Of course,
Right.
I think between my three kids, I think one of them probably has Fortnite. I mean, I might be able to check it out on one of their accounts. I might look.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have my son do it and just watch him do it.
Yeah, I'm not. Of course, I don't have a video game console of my own anymore, so I might have to see if one of my kids has it on theirs and just kind of like, hey, can I borrow this for a minute? But so we'll see how that goes. But of course, like I said, they've been involved in gaming quite a bit. They've done a couple of original songs for like Call of Duty. I know they've done that I think twice that I know of for sure. And like brand new original songs just for those games, which is
I know that they were in one of the Guitar Heroes too. So
yeah,
so,
they were.
They've been showcased for a while. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, staying with the PRP for my next one, bassist Sean Martinez has announced his exit from technical death metalers Decrepit Birth. He issued the below statement on the matter via social media on October 13th. Quote, after a long and fulfilling journey, I've made the difficult decision to permanently leave Decrepit Birth as their bassist. Since joining in 2012, I've had the privilege of touring with incredible musicians like 66 Samus, Alex Bent, Gabe Sieber on drums, Chase Fraser, and Matt Sotelo on guitar, and the legendary Bill Robinson on vocals. We also had Max Smith on standby to fill in on vocals during COVID. Writing and recording bass parts for Axis Mundi was an incredible experience, and that, along with touring, doing the playback and monitors, and eventually helping the band get some live recordings of the performances, really contributed to my growth as a musician, for which I'm eternally grateful. After much reflection, I feel it's time to explore new horizons in music and bass playing. I am available for session work and would consider joining another band in the future. I'm eager to dive into new projects and genres while also offering my skills in live sound and production, both at home and on the road. I wish Decrepit all the best moving forward and hope to see a new bassist step in to carry on the legacy. I'll occasionally share videos of our live performances to keep the inspiration alive. Thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout this journey. Your encouragement means the world. Feel free to send pics and vids to me directly. I'd love to see and post them. Sean Martinez at SM_bass_FOH on Instagram, end quote. So there we go. If anyone's in the market for a bass player or any bass work, he's your guy. Or Martin Motnick. He'll do it too. He'll do it too.
He will. All right, my last one is over from Metal Sucks. With his induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame slated to take place this Saturday, Ozzy Osbourne will likely not be able to perform on his own. The news comes after Tool vocalist Maynard James Keenan revealed in an interview on the Allison Hagendorf show how he became one of several vocalists chosen to sing on behalf of the Prince of Darkness. Quote, yeah, I mean, if it, I mean, it's, if I'm being honest, mixed feelings because I'm having to come in and a couple of other people are coming in to sing for him, which is depressing to have to sing for him. But that we're able to step up and help him in this induction is inspiring. I'm glad I got the call. I'm sure a bunch of people got the call, but I think I responded first. End quote. What does it matter who responded? Leave it to him.
Yeah, yeah.
For a while now, Ozzy's been unable to perform due to lingering health issues stemming from a back injury he suffered back in the early 2000s. His condition is so bad that he was forced to cancel a tour with Judas Priest, along with other prior. God damn, it would have been such a cool ass fucking. After it was announced that he was being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for a solo career, many speculated as to whether he would be able to perform when the induction ceremony took place at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. It's customary for the inductee to eventually get on stage and play, but it's looking like that won't be possible for Ozzy. As a result, the following musicians are scheduled to perform at Osbourne's Rock and Roll Hall induction: Billy Idol, Maynard James Keenan, Jelly Roll, Zach Wilde, Andrew Watt, Steve Stevens, Wolfgang Van Halen, Robert Trujillo, and Chad Smith. Naturally, not all of those people are singing for him, but that's one hell of a star-studded list. I can't imagine having to get up on stage and perform a legend's music in front of them. To that end, Keenan said he was nervous about his part in the performance. Quote, it's terrifying, extremely terrifying. Yeah, because this is for him and his songs is out of my range. So I'm going to be struggling to hit the notes, but I got the call, so I got it. So I just answered. End quote. So that should be interesting, I guess. So I'm glad he got in for one.
Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah.
It usually doesn't turn into the Metalheads' favor during this thing. So
right.
I'm not even sure who all got in. I haven't kept up with. You usually keep up with that. So.
Yeah, I usually do, and I did, but I can't even remember at this point because it's kind of it's kind of disheartening from a Metalhead's standpoint because Iron Maiden still isn't in.
I don't think they care.
You know, I don't think they do. I don't think they do, but they deserve to be there. So I still kind of want them to make it. I mean, if they don't, obviously there's nothing I can do about it. And I know Bruce Dickinson doesn't give a shit, but it's just one of those things. Dionne Warwick got in. You know what? Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, we don't need to get into a long-winded discussion about it. And for what it's worth, this is just my 2 cents. Why the fuck is Jelly Roll? I mean, seriously, I mean, like that's just, like I say, that's just my opinion on it. I mean, but really, I mean,
so here's a list: Mary J. Blige, which I have no idea why.
No,
Cher, which I mean, kind of get that, I guess. Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang, Ozzy Osbourne, and A Tribe Called Quest. Like, you know,
half of those don't make sense. Half of them don't make sense.
Trying to see if there's anything else.
And I did see some, and this is kind of jumping ahead to the headlines a little bit, but a couple of the guys from Foreigner said that, yeah, we're not going to be there.
Oh yeah. I know I've seen one of them already.
Yeah. Two of the guys were like, yeah, I'm not going.
Because it's not what it was meant to be. Like, it's a rock and roll Hall of Fame, and you're inducting. And like I said, we've said this 1,000 times. If you want to change it to the Music Hall of Fame, then just change it.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that.
I do. I agree. Just it's doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, you got at least 3 R&B and hip hop artists that got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That makes no fucking sense. Are they going to let Metalheads in the R&B Hall of Fame or the Hip Hop Hall of Fame?
I doubt it, and they shouldn't.
Well, no,
they shouldn't. We're not advocating for that. What we're advocating is for rock and roll artists to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right. That's all we're advocating for.
Yeah, and they have a hip hop Hall of Fame. So I mean,
They do.
It's in New
And-
York. So
Yeah, and there should only be hip hop artists in there. It's in the fucking name.
yeah. And they do only have hip hop artists in there. That's the thing.
Good.
Tupac, Jay-Z, LL Cool J. I mean,
Good.
people are in there. Like it's not.
Yeah, good. I'm all for that. I have no problem. There's a country music Hall of Fame in Nashville.
Right.
I have no problem with a genre specific Hall of Fame. None. No qualms at all. Not a one. But yeah, but Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just stop trying to justify your bullshit decisions. Just stop. You're not fooling anybody. Anybody with a brain, anyway. All right, my last one is back over at Blabbermouth. Former Accept and current UDO bassist Peter Baltus has launched a GoFundMe campaign to assist him and his wife in repairing their home in Nokomis, Florida, due to damages caused by Hurricane Milton. In an introductory message on GoFundMe, Peter wrote, quote, "Hurricane Milton hit my area head on while I was still on tour. My wife and the cats were in a shelter with friends. I was able to fly out straight after the last show. I thank God that our family was spared. Many others were not that fortunate. The house was damaged, but it can be repaired. The cage and concrete floor are busted and need to be replaced. Of course, not covered by insurance. We would appreciate it if you could help," end quote. He added in a post on his Facebook page, quote, "Hi, everybody. It's been 5 days since I got home from the U.S. tour. Joanna and I have been working relentless to clean everything up. Milton hit us straight on. Most of the damage is contained to the back of the house. It will be repaired, but the insurance company does not cover any of it. Joanna and I would appreciate it very much if you guys could help out." He also wrote in a separate post to that, I guess, "This was the third hurricane my wife had to go through by herself. I'm always on the road at that time, not feeling too good about it. Hope this is it for the season." As of early Thursday morning, only $466 has been raised of the campaign's $10,000 goal. Let's see what that's at. Let's see what it's at like right now. 1,472. So I mean, they've kind of tripled what it started off at originally. So we'll see how it goes. So
maybe they'll get there. It's for one. Why is the insurance not good? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe
do we pay insurance? I don't understand why we pay them.
Maybe he just doesn't have the right policy. Maybe he didn't buy the right coverage. I don't know.
Maybe he didn't buy flood insurance. Maybe that's what
well, that's the thing.
You're in Florida. I would think you would have flood insurance.
Well, that's the thing is I don't because there's a picture of the house. There's a picture of the house in the GoFundMe, and it doesn't look like the house got flooded. It doesn't look like the house got flooded. It just looks like wind damage. So I don't really know. Obviously, there's only the one picture, so I don't know the extent of the damage. So maybe he just doesn't have the doesn't have the right coverage. So
it's just like I had when I first moved in here a few years after I moved in, we had a bad storm and it blew a lot of shingles off my house. And I mean, like ripped up a big section. You can see the board.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. So, well, it's not 20 years old, so we can just patch it. That's going to be more than your stuff. It's not going to be as much as your stuff. Because it's not 20 years old. It doesn't matter how old it is, it's fucking damaged.
Yeah. They tried to do the insurance company tried to do the same thing because we had our roof replaced a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And I mean the insurance they did pay out, and we did get enough money to cover the repairs after our deductible and everything. But they were trying to dick us around on depreciation. They're like, oh well, your roof is X amount of years old, so depreciation and everything. So I mean, it took a minute to kind of like go back, do a little bit of back and forth. Mm-hmm. They did pay out enough to where we were able to. Like I say, aside from the deductible to pay for the shingles to be replaced. But I mean, like you said, I'm paying every month, and It doesn't matter how old something is that got damaged. It was on the house that I'm paying to be insured. It got damaged by a storm that I had no control over. Of course, the insurance company didn't either, but that's what you're there for, to insure. So yeah. So long story short,
how much money was you bucketing where I didn't make a claim? That's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I'm paying probably. Let me see, what am I paying? Like probably close to $2,000 a year for insurance for a house, and like
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
I go 4 years without doing anything, and then I make a $4,000 claim, and you're complaining. Like,
Right. Yeah. All insurance is a scam.
Dana, that is correct. It is an
Yeah. And I think it's cool that they finally opened up a Metal Hall of
Yeah.
Fame. I think it was definitely overdue, but better late than never. So I'm glad there is one. But even
it's probably because of the Rock Hall of Fame bullshit.
it might be. I mean, I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if it has to do with anything, but I'm glad that there is one. But at the same time, it doesn't let the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame off the hook. It really doesn't.
No. You're the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah. For Christ's sake, you put Dolly Parton in last year.
And she didn't even want to be.
No, and she didn't even want to be in, but you wouldn't let her drop out. What sense does that make? She's like, this isn't the genre of music I'm in. She's like,
the bad thing is it made her feel so bad she had to go out and make a rock album. So
yeah. So she didn't even of course, that's just how gracious she is.
Right.
She was like, thank you, I appreciate it, but I don't belong. And she even said that. She's like, I don't belong here. She even said that. She's like, I don't belong here. I appreciate it, but I don't belong here.
She's a smart lady, even at her age. I mean, you can just look at her response to the hurricane stuff. It's way better than what FEMA did. So,
well, you're talking about someone who's done a lot of philanthropy work, and comparing them to the government.
I mean, that's true.
So
they do philanthropy work for other countries. So,
oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Not to get up on a soapbox, but yeah, they absolutely do.
I mean,
that's true.
That's true.
It is true. That was my last story.
Okay. So I just got a couple of other headlines here, not a lot. Iced Earth's John Schaefer was sentenced to 3 years probation and fined for January 6th insurrection, which I don't think that's finalized yet. I've seen a lot of news headlines talking about it, but from what I gathered from, because I actually called it on a news station talking about it, and the way they were talking is it still has to go to a sentencing hearing.
Yeah,
this is what they're proposing.
It's what they're recommending, and
right.
So, honestly, at this point,
probably just take it and get the fuck out of there.
Well, that's what they need to do, because they've by the time he gets to his sentencing hearing, it's going to be the 5th time it got postponed.
And you done had him in jail.
He's done nothing but cooperate. By all accounts, he's done nothing but cooperate. Give him time served, cut him loose, because this shit's ridiculous.
Had him in jail for 4 fucking years.
Yeah, this shit's ridiculous at this point.
And then let's see. Alex Van Halen claims David Lee Roth didn't want to pay tribute to Eddie. Said the vitriol that came out was unbelievable. I'm not sure the whole story with that, but that's the headline I read, and I was like, that's I probably should have did a story on that, but to get a little bit more detail. But
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me from the headlines. I was just
right.
Well, that don't surprise me. David Lee's not exactly a good guy.
No, not really. David Lee Roth has always been a David Lee Roth first person.
Yeah, well, we know a lot of musicians.
Well, of course, he's not the only one, but
maybe they could just go on tour together and call it the Ego Tour or something.
The Ego Trip.
There you go. The Ego Trip Festival.
That's right.
Then it's like, come out and watch the fight before the show to see who's headlining.
I was about to say that. Yeah, let them duke it out over who headlines. Yeah.
Biohazards to release their first album with the classic lineup since 1994. And they're going to release that next year. So
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what
that'd be good.
Yeah. Kerry King names the 2 bald dudes that could play him in a movie, which I don't agree with. One of them at least. He said The Rock, and I was like, dude, The Rock looks 2 of you. Like, what the fuck?
I guarantee you that was tongue in cheek.
Oh yeah.
Had to have been.
Yeah, and then he mentioned Vin Diesel, which I could see that more than The Rock.
Yeah.
So, there's not a lot of actors that are bald in that category that could probably pull off Kerry King, but yeah, dude, listen, 60 part 9. Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
we knew it. Yeah, we knew what you meant, David Lee Roth. Yeah, we knew what you meant.
Then David Gilmour, of course, of Pink Floyd, is featured in Body Count's video for "Comfortably Numb," which is a Pink Floyd tune, so that should be interesting. Bloodstock announced 13 bands. I didn't go into all of them because it's not official yet, and I usually don't go down the lineup until it's official. So Bloodstock announced 13 bands, but I said this because we talked about it on the show last week. That's why I brought this up. The announcement included an ultra rare performance from Max Cavalera's Nail Bomb. So
there you go.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
wild. I said, man, we were just talking about that last week. That's crazy.
We were, yeah.
We talked it into existence. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah. We take full and sole credit.
Yeah. We said it before it announced. So
that's right.
We have video proof.
Yeah.
So former Mr. Bungle member found guilty of first-degree murder. He faces life in prison. If you're not familiar with that, he murdered his girlfriend back in December of 2023, I believe.
Yeah.
So he was found guilty, and he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So,
yeah. Which I mean, he's not a young dude. So I mean,
no, it's not going to be long. So
no. But
I'm still like, you're at this point in your life. Why would you? I mean, you should be spending and enjoying. In
well,
days or whatever.
Yeah, I think there are probably some underlying issues there.
Crazy. I never got people murdering, especially women these days. Because I mean, if you look at the world, I mean, there's 4 women to every guy. So I mean, why would you? If it's that bad, just drop her and go get another one, dude. Find one as crazy as your ass is. I'm sure there's one.
Right. Yeah.
Slash raises $125,000 for charity with Serpent Festival. That's pretty cool. Speaking of which, Metallica raised $100,000 for, or it didn't raise it; they just donated.
They just donated it. That's the second time in as many hurricanes as they've donated $100,000.
And of course, people were bitching. Well, they're multi-millionaires. I was like, motherfucker, you might want to and I said it in the post.
I saw it. Yeah.
I said, hey, you may want to go and see what all they contribute to year round. They don't just pick and choose stuff when shit happens. They donate stuff every year to different.
They have a foundation. They have a foundation just for that shit.
It's like people don't understand. And I've said this before too. I said Metallica is a business. If your band becomes a business when you're at the point of Metallica, James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Kirk Hammett, Robert Trujillo, they get paid from Metallica. Yes, they are Metallica, but they get paid from Metallica money. Yep. It's like, this is what I want to make every year. That's what they make every year, and all the profits go back into the band. So to do recordings and whatever. Then of course they do the other stuff like this for tax write-offs. I mean, that's what you do.
But at the same time,
$5 million in taxes.
But at the same time, nobody, I don't care how much money you have or don't, nobody is obligated to donate any of their money to anything. No one is obligated to make any donations.
And I think one of my favorite ones that I see in all these posts like that, and it's not just him, it was on Taylor Swift shit too when I was reading that. People were like, well, how much did you donate? Why are you complaining? It's like, if you're not donating, just,
right.
And I think it's great. So let me clear this. No hate toward Taylor Swift, which I've kind of been on that band, that thing for a while where I was like making jokes about it or whatever, but it was for a reason. It wasn't because I hated her. I don't know much about her, honestly. Everybody was bitching about her being in the feed, so I was like, well, you don't like her in your feed? Here, I'm gonna put her in your feed every day. So this is the asshole that I am. But
that's funny.
But the thing is, like, she donated to I'm gonna say a not trustworthy place, from what I'm understanding. They do a lot of good stuff, but they take that money and spread it out, from what I understand. So all of the money won't go where it needs to go. So that's why everybody was like, and still, if anybody out there is listening and you want to donate to the hurricane victims, go through the Samaritan's Purse. That's what I've been told by the people over in East Tennessee. That's what we need to do. So if you do anything, go through them. This is coming from people in the area that's affected. So I'm gonna trust their word. So
right.
And like I said, I've talked to EMTs and stuff out there. It's pretty nasty out there, dude. Like, I can't imagine some of the stuff that I'm hearing. if have a great show. I will cupcake. How about that?
Take care, Dana, man.
Uh,
We'll talk to you later, bud.
but yeah, I've talked to some people out there with some horror stories. Like some of the stuff I heard, I'm like, dude, I would lose my lunch over some of the stuff that I've heard.
Yeah, and
it's pretty disturbing.
and the bad thing is, I mean, it's gonna be a while.
Oh yeah.
The recovery is gonna take a long time.
I mean, first off, I mean, it wiped out half of the interstate going between North Carolina and Tennessee. So now, if you're truck drivers or anything like that, you're going to have to take a long way around things for a while until that gets.
Yeah.
It's really nasty, man. It's like people, you know, I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. And now they're talking about some volcano erupted in Washington. So I'm just like, damn, it's like every corner of the United States is getting blasted with something.
Yeah.
Then this one says oh, that was the one that you posted. I didn't realize you had that story. I'm sorry, I missed that one when I was reading your story about the mutilation barbecue.
Yeah.
Then the last one I had was the most expensive cassette tape ever sold on Discogs is an old Deftones demo.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I don't know how much it sold for. Did you catch that? I didn't look at it. So
$5,000, 5,200. It was like 5,000. It was like 5,000 or 5,200, something like that.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have is there's going to be the release of See You on the Other Side 2.0. It's going to be it's going to be an 18 LP box set of all of Ozzy Osbourne's stuff coming out. I can't remember off the top of my head when it's being released. And when I first read the story, it wasn't priced, but reading about it a little earlier this evening on a couple of Facebook posts, people were saying $600, which sounds like a lot, but when you divide that by the amount of LPs, it's like 35 to 40 bucks an LP, which actually isn't horrible. And then there's some special stuff that comes with it. There's like 10 posters, and apparently it's going to be like a limited edition, which of course everything is. And supposedly, from what I understand, they're all going to be signed.
Oh, nice.
So
that reminds me of a show and tell item I need to bring up here.
So take that for what you will. And the price, like I say, the price is not confirmed. It's just what I read. So if I see a confirmation, we'll touch base on it again. But still, you're getting all 18 of Ozzy's studio albums, which includes one compilation. But they're all in there. It's 18 vinyls. So it's actually pretty cool. I should have pulled it up, but you guys can look for it. But yeah, it's called See You on the Other Side 2.0. And there's actually, like, if you go to YouTube and you search for it, there's actually a pretty funny like infomercial style kind of promo that Zach Wild did for it.
Attorney Zach Wild.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. So yeah, check that out too.
All right, I guess that will lead us into hitting the road. I only have one thing to go over because it's a festival, and I try to stay on top of those.
That's fine.
I know there's a lot of other stuff going on, but I figured I would at least cover my end first. So
cool.
So Sick New World has announced that they're going to have their next festival on April 12th, 2025 at the Las Vegas Fairgrounds. They've already announced the lineup. We have Metallica, Linkin Park, Queens of the Stone Age, AFI, Evanescence, Ministry, 311, Sisters of Mercy, Gojira, Acid Bath, 3 Days Grace. And it says 2 times. I don't know what that means. They're playing lights. Interesting. Glassjaw, The Flaming Lips, Darren Malakian and Scars on Broadway, Down, Cannibal Corpse, Meshuggah, Tomahawk, Melvin's Testament, Mastodon, Refused, Filter, Cradle of Filth, Terror, Mayhem, X, Under Oath, The Hives, Carcass, Kitty, Poison the Well, Mudvayne, Exodus, Machine Head, Arch Enemy, Twin Tribes, Quicksand, Sponge, Dirt and Gray, Static X, Era, Stabbing Westward, Rendezvous, Death Clock, Orgy, Lacuna Coil, The Birthday Massacre, uh, Nuevo Testamento, Scowl, Dope, Show Me the Body, Amira Elfiki, Lebanon Hangover, Napalm Death, 7 Hours After Violent, and Vision Video. So that will be your Sick New World line. Sounds pretty solid. So
Yeah, that's actually there's actually quite a few heavy hitters on
yeah,
that bill. There's quite a
yeah.
few. But like with every festival lineup, there are some bands that I couldn't give a shit about.
Oh
But I
well,
mean
yeah.
but I mean that's just kind of like a law of averages kind of thing. With that many
Well, I mean,
bands,
I don't know that Sick New World's actually a metal festival either. So I mean,
that's why I'm kind of surprised that there are some bands on there that there are. I mean, you got Exodus, Testament, Machine
Arch
Head,
Enemy.
Arch Enemy. So I mean, yeah. So there are some bands that I definitely wouldn't have expected to hear because I actually didn't really look at the whole lineup. So I'm kind of just hearing the whole thing for the first time. So I'm actually kind of surprised by a few of those, but in a good way. But
Right.
yes, some surprising names on there. All right, my contribution, all from the PRP this week. Oddly enough, that's kind of strange, but for the 12th through the 18th, I just stuck to this week. So leading off with Intervals, Vola, and David Maxim Micic are going on a U.S. tour next spring, starting March 6, 2025 in Cleveland, Ohio at the Roxy, finishing April 5th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at Union Transfer. Returning is going on a fall reunion tour. So, I mean, it's just not a clever name, their band name, Returning. Starting November 2nd in San Francisco, California at the Regency Ballroom featuring the Shut Ups. There is a different opening band each night. So every night there's a different opening band. Finishing December 22nd in Chicago, Illinois at Talia Hall featuring Frail Body. Eminence, Landmarks, and Julika are going on a North American tour next year, starting March 8th in Worcester, Mass. at the Palladium, finishing April 5th in Sayreville, New Jersey at Starland Ballroom. Jerry Cantrell and Filter are going on a North American tour next year also, starting January 31st, 25 in Niagara Falls, Ontario at the Falls View Casino Resort, finishing March 9th in Seattle, Washington at the Moore Theater. Parkway Drive is going on their 20th anniversary European and UK tour with Thy Art is Murder and the Amity Affliction, starting September 19th, 2025 in Leipzig, Germany at the Quarterback Immobile Arena, finishing November 16th, 2025 in Copenhagen, Denmark at the KB Hallen. So we're talking like almost a year out. That's already been announced. So hopefully nothing happens between now and then.
Right.
The Night Flight Orchestra are going on a European tour next year, starting January 30th in Tilburg, Netherlands at 013, finishing February 24th in Hamburg, Germany at the Bahnhof Pauli. Blood Incantation has announced their 2025 European and UK tour dates, with Minami Deutsch opening at all of the non-festival dates. That tour starts April 18th, 2025 in Oslo, Norway at the Inferno Metal Festival, finishing May 11th in Vienna, Austria at Scene. Wrist Meet Razor is going on a UK tour in 2025 with Long Goodbye and Divine Hatred splitting the tour opener duty, like half and half. Starting January 16th, 2025 in Leeds, England at Dust, finishing January 25th in Southampton, England at Suburbia. Slipknot has announced the 2025 Knotfest Australia dates. February 28th in Melbourne at Flemington Racecourse, March 2nd in Brisbane at the Brisbane Showground, and March 8th in Sydney at the Centennial Park. Harm's Way and Weekend Nachos have announced a pair of shows in December. December 7th in Chicago at the Bottom Lounge featuring Inclination and Hold My Own, and December 8th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the X-Ray featuring Enervate and Big Laugh. Suffocation, Angel Maker, Fuming Mouth, Carcosa, and Melancholia are going to do their European and UK tour, starting February 27th in Bochum, Germany at Matrix, finishing March 30th in Antwerp, Belgium at the Samhain Festival. Angel Maker and Melancholia will not be there at that one. Pig Destroyer is announcing their Terrifier 20th anniversary show, not to be confused with the movie. November 14th in Washington, D.C. at the Black Cat with Mammoth Grinder, Genocide Pact, and Entrail Asphyxiation. That's a gross way to go out. Ex-Cops, Belushi Speedball, and U.S. Bastards are going on a U.S. tour next year, starting January 8th in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Music Hall, finishing January 25th in New York at the TVI. There is a Tennessee date, January 17th in Memphis at Growlers. While she sleeps, Malevolence, Throne, and Resolve are doing their European and UK tours starting November 6th of this year in Paris, France at the Élysée Montmartre, finishing November 30th in Antwerp, Belgium at Trix. Clutch is going on a 20th anniversary. Well, they've announced some 20th anniversary shows for their Blast Tyrant album with Many Eyes and the Native Howl. December 5th in Norfolk, Virginia at the Norva. December 6th in Baltimore at Rams Head Live. December 7th in Wantagh, New York at Mulcahy's Concert Hall. And December 8th in Sayreville, New Jersey at the Starland Ballroom. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats and Jonathan Hulton are going on a North American tour starting February 5th in Silver Spring, Maryland at the Fillmore, finishing February 22nd in LA at the Palace Theater. Nonpoint is going on a Statement and To the Pain 20th and 25th anniversary, respectively. I think I have that right. One of them's 20 years and one of them's 25. They're going on an anniversary tour for those two albums with Crowbot and Heartsick. This is the first 3 dates. There are more dates to come. January 17th in St. Petersburg, Florida at Janus Live. January 18th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the Culture Room. And January 19th in Orlando, Florida at the Beecham. Obviously, we'll let you know what the other dates are as soon as we get them. The Ghost
I think they're trying to stick to a Florida type tour because that's where they're from.
Well, so far that's where they're at so far. So, but it does say further dates are pending. So we'll see.
Hopefully they'll get out there. Then
they may just stick to the Southeast. Who knows? The Ghost Inside, Gideon, Of Virtue, and Orthodox are going on a North American tour this fall, starting November 21st in Phoenix, Arizona at the Van Buren, finishing December 13th in Columbus, Ohio at the Newport Music Hall. They will be in Nashville on December 10th at Brooklyn Bowl. Maul, Pains, Deterioration, and Gourd Embrace have announced a quartet of December shows. December 12th in Iowa City, Iowa at Gabe's. December 13th in Chicago at Livewire. December 14th in St. Paul, Minnesota at the Legion Hall Basement. And December 15th in Fargo, North Dakota at 4 and 4. Chat Pile is going on a European tour with Hers Collective and Agriculture splitting the opener duties. Same thing, half and half, approximately. Starting April 19th, 25 in Tilburg, Netherlands at the Roadburn Festival, finishing May 11th in Bergen, Norway at Landmark. Void of Vision has canceled their November and December North American touring plans due to quote-unquote personal reasons. Lastly, Aborted, Ingested, Peeling Flesh, and Stabbing are going on a North American tour next year, starting February 13th, 25 in Roseville, California at Goldfield, finishing March 15th in Phoenix, Arizona at Nile. Peeling Flesh will not be at that date. So that's hitting the road for the 12th through the 18th. Yup. Sure enough.
All right. That will lead us into our theme of the week. Theme of the week this week was suggested by Chris this time of the week. So it's always good to get a helping hand sometimes, especially when I lost my list. I'm like, what the I still ain't found that damn list.
I try to do my best to come up with, like I say, to help you out coming up with these themes, but I'll think of one and be like, how about, I was like, fuck, we did that one. Well, how about we did that one. So, and then, so it just dawned on me. It's like, well, how about this and this? And then I kind of ran it by you. And then, of course, we've been sitting on this for a few weeks for, guests and time off. And so we've been sitting on this for a minute. So yeah, we are going to do order and chaos this go around. So
I actually took the chaos side of things this time.
That's fine.
Go with that. So my first one, that was Nonpoint, Chaos and Earthquakes. That was from the X or 10 album, which was their 10th album in 2018.
Cool.
Then I went with Megadeth, Addicted to Chaos from Euthanasia in 1994.
Yep.
Then went with Extinction AD, Chaos, which was a single in 2021. It never made an album, surprisingly. Then I went with Exodus, Within the Walls of Chaos from Impact is Imminent from 1990.
Oh yeah.
Went for album this time. Sepultura, Refuse and Resist from Chaos AD from 1993.
Right.
Then went with Hollywood Undead Chaos from Hotel California 2022. Then went with Night Rage, Euphoria Within Chaos, off the album Remains of a Dead World from earlier this year.
Nice.
Then with Infected Rain, The Realm of Chaos from I can't remember how she Igdisis. Yeah, it's 2022. Then I went with Lazarus AD, Light a City Up in Smoke, which kind of would create a chaos, right? From Black River
Indeed.
Flows in 2011.
Such a good song too.
Then I went with Machine Head, In Comes the Flood, which kind of fitting for what we've been going through
right
lately.
Yeah.
From Bloodstone and Diamonds 2014. Then with band kind of name here, Chaosium. So,
Nice.
went with the song Unreal from the Third Eye 2022. Then I went with Accept, The Rise of Chaos from The Rise of Chaos 2017.
Hell yeah.
Then I went with Children of Bottom, I Worship Chaos from I Worship Chaos 2015. A lot of these are subtitled, but that's okay.
That's fun.
Then I went with Hatebreed, Destroy Everything, which fits, I guess, from Supremacy 2006. Then I went with Within the Ruins from Chaos, and I went with Within the Ruins, Chaos Reigns from Phenomena 2. That was earlier this year as well, 2024. Then I went with the Trivium's Chaos Reigns from In Waves 2011. And then last but not least, I went with Onslaught Chaos is King from the album 6 in 2013.
That is a badass song too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So, like I say, this was one that I suggested. And for some reason, I kind of went with the way that we normally do this is Jason goes first and I go second. So what I did was I kind of went ahead and started doing this. So I actually started doing chaos because it was order and chaos. So I actually started with the chaos part. And then once he and I actually kind of put our heads together and kind of came up with the idea, he was like, all right, I'm going to do chaos. You'll do order. I was like, okay, that's fine. No problem. So I actually had both. I actually had.
Yeah, you had already had both of them going.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
so I already. So I already had both of them done. So I had 20 songs for each.
Oh shit.
And you only had 6 of the ones that I had for chaos. So I'm going to be adding 14 other ones to chaos at the end. So this is going to be one hell of a list. It's going to be very, very good when it's done. So, and I'm not going to let you know, I'm not going to let anybody know what my chaos ones are. You guys will have to check out the playlist. It'll be a surprise because that's not my part. So I did have, I took order. Leading off with New Order by Krata, Existential Turmoil, from this year. Then I had NWO, which is New World Order from Ministry off of Psalm 69, The Way to Succeed and the Way to Suck Eggs, from 1992. Then I went with Teutonic Order by Herman Frank off of Two for Alive from 2021. Then I had New World Order from our friends Contortion off of Planet Parasite from 2014. Then I went with The Order of Shadows by Exhumer off of Hostile Defiance from 2019. Then I went with Order of the Rose by Iced Earth off of Framing Armageddon, Something Wicked Part 1 from 2007. Then I went with Order Shall Prevail by Jungle Rot off of the album from the same name from 2015. Then I went with New World Order by Megadeth off of 13 from 2011. Then I had The Order of Fear from Orden Ogan off the Order of Fear from 2024. Beauty Through Order by Slayer off World Painted Blood from 2009. The New Order from Testament off of The New Order from 1988. Again, a lot of these are just so happen to be self-titled, but it is what it is. Then I got a twofer on this one. The Order of Chaos by Zentrix off of Kin from 1992. Evil Command by Eradicator off of Slavery from 2015. Metal Command by Exodus off of Bonded by Blood from 1985. If you can, I'm on synonyms now. Mm-hmm. Then I went with Genocidal Command by Nervosa off Perpetual Chaos. So I got a twofer there from 2021. Inspiration on Demand by Shadows Fall off The War Within from 2004. Demand by Stradivarius off of Survive from 2022. The Organization by Death Angel off of Act 3 from 1990. Brotherhood by Hammerfall off Hammer of Dawn from 2022, and number 20, Brotherhood of the Snake by Testament off of the album of the same name from 2016. So
And that the thing I posted there is that's the playlist for the new releases this week. So
yes,
any of that stuff out. There's a lot of new stuff out this week. So
yeah.
a lot of,
So we'll
lot of stuff in your RAM this week, Chris. A lot of power metal out there.
Yeah, that's very good. But yeah, we'll get this could be it's going to be a lengthy. It's a 20. It's going to be a lengthy because I don't remember how many you had, but I had 20. You had whatever you had, and then I've got 14 to add one on top of whatever you're going to add. So this is going to be. This could potentially be our longest.
17. That's 17.
This could be potentially be our longest playlist yet, but it's going to be a good one. So we'll get it. We'll get it built, compiled, and collaborated on, and then we'll get it posted for you guys as soon as we can.
All right. Well, now I guess we go into our album reviews.
Yep.
This week I went with the band. I don't know if I'm going to say this right or not. Chrysalid. I don't know if that's how they say it, or maybe you know. I don't know. But
I think it's Chris. I think it's just Chrysalid.
Chrysalid. Okay. Either way, that's the one I went with called Breaking the Chains. They are originally hailed from the United Kingdom, but now they reside in Manchester, England. They were formed in 2019. The current members are Emmanuel Thorson on vocals, Mark Harrison on drums, Ben Hurst on guitars, Wolf de Eulis on bass. I guess that's how you pronounce that. I don't know. It's kind of a hyphenated name. Then
Okay.
Connor Lynn on guitars, and then looks like the vocalist is the only original member still, even though they just started at 19. That's kind of crazy. The most of the band had been 2022, so
okay.
Other than looks like the bassist came in 23, and then the guitars came in 24. So they did have an album before this in 22. So I guess the other two members had left, and then they had to get replacements for this album.
Okay.
This is the band's second full-length album, 13 tracks, 51 minutes and 10 seconds in length. So it's a little lengthy. They do have two they had like an interlude, but it was like a minute and a half, and it was singing in it. It wasn't just just musical. There was actually some singing, a little bit done in the interlude, and there's another like in the middle. So I think like track 12 had like a minute and 50 something seconds or something. Something of that nature. So
okay.
let's see. Do that. It was a minute and 34 or something. But it was track 12, right before the last track. I have no idea why they threw that in there like that, but
okay.
It is what it is, I guess. So first off, I'll say this: the album had a lot of guests on it. It had Tim Ripper Owens on a track. It had Henning Bassi from Firewind on a track. It had Zach Stevens from Sabotage. It had Craig Kearns, which is, you don't know who Craig Kearns is. He's kind of a YouTube or internet kind of sensation. He did a lot of covers like for Halloween and stuff like that, and did a really good job on them too.
Okay.
He's got a good voice. Like all these are vocalists too, which I have no idea why they just did all vocalists, but whatever. And then Fabio Leone from Angra. So they had all those people in some tracks. So you thinking, probably. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I didn't mean to throw that back up there. Sorry. You're looking at let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the 13 tracks had guests on, which is kind of like is, I don't know. It feels like a little overload to me, but that's just me. Now that's out of the way, let's talk about like the sound. Vocally was well done. Emmanuel has some range, probably up there with the likes of John Oliva from Sabotage, and of course, the other singer from Sabotage was in there too, so kind of makes sense. The pairing of the guest complimented his vocals well, though. I will say that, like the track with him and Ripper Owens was phenomenal, dude. It was great. Of course, what of Ripper we don't like.
Yeah. I mean, all you had to say was Tim Ripper Owens. That's all.
Right. The guitar work on it was was what really impressed me though, because I mean, he had some real lengthy solos. I'm talking, you usually get 10, 20, 15-second solos or something like that. I'm talking about this dude went like 45, 50 minutes solo, and I'm like, damn, okay, that's
Nice.
Chris will like that. So,
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
in.
just like, yeah, it's just like real, like the guitar work was shredding throughout the record. So good stuff. Drumming was in line and on time. You won't hear that anywhere else. I threw that in there for a reason.
I like it.
Now with the bad stuff. Although the vocals and compositions were good, they didn't flow at times. I felt like there was times where the vocalist was screaming, but the instruments were barely heard because he was like, I don't know. It seemed like it was maybe the instrumental was in like a ballad state. He was still up here singing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, not sure that
I got you.
would have been the right thing there. It also seemed like they were singing too fast, trying to keep up with the instruments in some parts too. It's like they were just like, I guess, like trying to time it, and it was like way off.
Oh,
It's kind of sad, man. 'Cause I
that's
thought
definitely not
if
good.
it was timed out a little better, I think this would be a really good album. But there were a couple of slower songs incorporating piano, which was well done. I like that. Like I said, I'd love to hear a release with just the band without all the extra, because I can't really pinpoint who was off. You know what I mean? Because you got
Mhm.
guests on these things, and you're kind of like trying to pinpoint, and like a lot of them. Like I said, I just compared them to Sabotage, and there's a Sabotage singer in there, so that tells you right there that they're probably pretty close. You probably can't by ear. You probably wouldn't be able to,
Yeah.
unless you just watch them. Then you can. But like I said, I'd love to hear it without any guest on it. And like I said, that might have threw some things off with it being
Maybe.
extra people in there, so I don't know. But I'm gonna give this one 3 horns. It felt like it could have been a lot better than that.
Okay.
There is another one I'm gonna check out, and we'll try to have that write up done on the page. So.
Cool. And before I get into mine real quick, I do want to say that our friends from Italy, Never Obey Again,
Yep.
their new album Trust did come out today.
Great album.
Yeah, we already listened to it because Angelo over at Scarlet Records sent it to us ahead of time. So that was cool of him to do that. Greatly appreciate it. So we got a sneak peek of the whole album. So Jason and I have listened to it all the way through once already. I'm listening to it again because just because I wanted to.
Yeah.
After I finished my album that I'm about to talk about here in a minute, I was like, I'm just going to give that Never Obey Again another listen. So I'm like 3 or 4 songs into listening to it again. It's very well done. It's a nice evolution, nice maturation of the band, especially the singer. She's got new elements to her vocal style that
It was
are
like it was almost like I could feel at times it was kind of like it was like oh, that's kind of hailstormish, and
Mhm.
then I could hear some stuff. It's kind of like New Year's Day, and then I could like hear some stuff that was even heavier than both of those. So
right. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it really has a good balance of
Yeah.
things. Probably got a little bit of something for everybody on that album. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys haven't listened to that yet, like I say, it's called Trust. It's on Spotify. I would definitely recommend checking that out. They did a great job on that one. So now moving ahead to the main event of my review thing here. This is another album that Angelo over at, I'm going to give you a shout out, bud,
Yeah,
because you are, and we definitely appreciate this. I haven't had a chance to listen to everything you've sent us. I will at some point. I just haven't had time. But this is an album that Angelo from Scarlet Records sent us ahead of time. And I didn't listen to it when I saw it, but because I saw that it was coming out. So I wanted to give it a fair shake because I knew it was coming up. So this is the album The Final Element by Veonity. It's Veonity. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Veonity, Veonity. I don't know where the emphasis is on what syllable, so I think it's Veonites. That's what I'm going to go with. If it's wrong, I apologize.
Probably depends on where they're from. So.
Exactly. Well, they're a power metal band formed in Vänersborg, Sweden in 2013. So it could be anything. So they are a quintet. They are a 5-piece consisting of Christopher Lidre on bass, Joel Kohlberg on drums, Anders Skold on guitar and lead vocals, Samuel Lundstrom on lead guitar, and Isaac Stenvall on vocals. Their lyrical theme is epic fantasy. That's it. That's the only lyrical theme they have. This is their 6th full-length album. Their debut album came out in 2015, Gladiator's Tale, leading up to today. 10 tracks long, 44 minutes and 14 seconds. The opening track is a 59-second intro. I'll give them the fact that this one actually works here, so it's fine. I'll let that slide. Reading up on the press junket that Angelo sent us, this is apparently like the last chapter of a story that they've been telling all the way up through all of their albums thus far. So this is kind of like the end of the story.
How many albums is it?
6.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not 100%.
That's some dedication to a story right there.
Right. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the story started in album 1 and we're just finishing it now, but the description in Angelo's the elements of Power chronicles a saga of a hero that heads to seal the veil between the overworld and the underworld to prevent darkness from gaining control is finally unraveled, and it couldn't have been more epic and glorious. So that's the description. So I don't know if it's been through all 6 CDs, but apparently this is the culmination of the story. So this is the end.
Maybe that's what they do. They just do it in 3s.
Maybe. So I'm not sure. So now, obviously, this being a power metal album, this is, like you say, this is kind of right in my wheelhouse. I did enjoy it very much. A lot of Hammerfall and Stradivarius influences on the vocal side. The only difference is with Hammerfall and Stradivarius, you have one vocalist pulling off everything. You've got Timo Kotipelto in Stradivarius. You've got Joachim Cans in Hammerfall. But the vocals, absolutely right in line with those 2 bands and those 2 singers. Obviously, very, very powerful cleans all the way throughout. Super duper powerful cleans all the way through. A lot of mid and high range vocals, a lot of high notes. I like the fact that, and I also like the fact that the band has got another one of those twin guitar attacks. Both guitarists get their moment to play their solos. The bass and the drums, they're very well done. I would say that the bass could have been a little more prominent. It's there, but I wouldn't say that the bass guitar is at the forefront. It's not. They didn't And Justice for All it. Don't get me wrong. You can tell it's still there, but it's in the background. The drums, I hate to call the drums basic because they're far from basic, but they are standard power metal. I'll put it that way. They're standard power metal, double bass, keeping the overall time of the tempo of the songs and everything. Still very well done because there's a lot of tempo and a lot of pace to this album. I'm surprised there wasn't a ballad. There wasn't a single ballad. I was expecting it, but there wasn't. So that's kind of nice, kind of surprising, because with power metal really likes the power ballad. It kind of makes sense in keeping with the whole genre, but there wasn't one. The main thing that I think I like the most about this album is, with a lot of power metal, a lot of there are a lot of ingredients that get added by symphonic accompaniment, like pianos, a lot of choral accompaniment in the background from like a chorus or like a choir. What I liked about this band on this album, like I say, I don't know about the other 5 because I haven't had a chance to go back and listen. Everything on this album, with very, very few exceptions, came from the band. all of the background vocals. Obviously, you got two vocalists, so they're doing the harmonizing vocally. You got the two guitarists, so they're doing all the harmonizing as far as the musical compositions go. They're telling the story without having a lot of extras and stuff that they don't really need. There's not like keyboards, they're not harpsichords. Of course, Stradivarius uses a harpsichord, but that's kind of their thing. The harpsichord is present in a lot of their music, but there's not a whole lot of stuff that they brought in from outside the power metal genre to tell their story. The story is being told through the two vocalists, through the two guitarists, like just the five guys in the band. There was only like one time that I think that a choir was used for backup vocals. I think there was only one time that I noticed that there may have been some keyboards in one of the songs, but 99.9% of all the musical compositions and all the vocals come from the guys in the band. And I super duper appreciate that, especially the way they're telling the story and the way they told it with the vocals and the musical compositions, the way they meshed everything together. So I really, really like the way it came together. So this one is going to get 4 horns from me.
Nice. Right.
Yeah.
Just to take us into what we got to look forward to next week, even though we're going to have a guest.
Yep, we will have a guest, but we also have a friend of the show who's got an EP coming out. We'll get to that in just a second.
Nice.
So leading off with next Friday, October 25th, with Acres and What It's Like to Feel Worthless. That's an EP. We have I Was with Dark. It Is. We have Alex Nunziati with Impending Catastrophe. We have Emil and the Sniffers with Cartoon Darkness. Andrea Palmieri with Reflections. Annihilator, not that Annihilator, with Death is Calling. Anti-Pope with Doors of the Dead. Artifacts, again, not that Artifacts, with Lucius. We have Ataraxy with Lay Declan. We have Atreyu with the Pronoia Sessions. Autumn's Grief with Dead Among the Living. Avtotheism with Reflections of Execrable Stillness. Behemoth, 30 Years of Blasphemy. Better Lovers with Highly Irresponsible. Black Aleph with Apsides. Black Curse with Burning and Celestial Poison. Black Evil with Praise the Communion Fire for the Unhallowed Sacrament. God, that's a mouthful. Black Note Graffiti with Resist the Divide. Black Oak County with 3. Blasphemous with To Lay Siege and Conquer. Bog Wizard with Journey Through the Dying Lands. Bunuel with Mansuetude. Butcher with On Foul of Tyrant Wing. Cane Hill with A Piece of Me I Never Let You Find. Cassandra's Crossing with Garden of Earthly Delights. Cats in Space with Time Machine. That's one for the older folks. If you guys don't know what the Muppet Show is, then you'll just have to Google that shit. So that's for the older crowd. Chained to the Dead with Only Hunger Remains. That's an EP. Challenger with Force of Nature. Children of the Pope with Moonface Supreme. Choke Cherry with Messy Star. That's an EP. Daytona with Garter La Flamme. The Dead Flowers with Elemento. That's an EP. Dead Form with Entrenched in Hell. Deceiveth with Seaports. That's an EP. Our Friends Dimos' Dawn with God of Pain. Their new EP. Devin Townsend with Power Nerd. Dirty Shades with Stuck in Motion. Disarray with Religious Disease. Dismalimerence with Tome 2. I don't know if it's Tome Part 2. I don't know. Doug Pinnick with Thingamajigger. I love that. Elephant Tree and Lowrider with The Long Forever. Embraced by Dark with Extrasensory. Enforced with The Leap into the Dark. That's an EP. That'll be good. And Theos with The End to Everything. That's an EP. Exhausted with What's It Gonna Be. That's an EP. Fit for an Autopsy with The Nothing That Is. Gairea with Coma. Ghosts of Glaciers with Eternal. Gigon with Anomalous Abstractigate Infinitesimus. Gore with A Bud That Never Blooms. That's an EP. Greg McCandless with Face First. Halifron with Anatomy of Darkness. Hate Angel with Extinction Ritual. Hild with Trash Pa Svenska. Him with Love and Death Embrace, the best of him, 1997 through 2003. The Holy Flesh with Advocate, Martyr, and Redeemer. Infernal Cult with Necessity of Unreal. Eotun with Kinship. Isaurian with The Pulsing Rush. Ixion with Evolution, Julius Lind with Lights, Kids in Glass Houses with Pink Flamingo, Kings Never Die with The Life and Times, Kings of Mercia with Battle Scars, Crypto with a self-titled album, Lancaster Marin with Dark Mother's Child, Lay of the Autumn with Of Love and Sorrow, League of Distortion with Galvanize, Leatherhead with a self-titled album, Living Gate with Suffer as One, Los Stragos with Nigh, Loud Blast with Altering Fates and Destinies, Low Flying Hawks with Make Believe, Massive Scar Arrow with Asiod, that's an EP, Men of Mayhem with Doomed to Life, that's a re-release, Merciless with Those Who Reign Below, Methadone Skies with Spectres at Dawn, Midnightmares with Shadow People, Mindless Summer with Metal Merchants, Motorhead, We Take No Prisoners, the singles, 1995 to 2006, Nitro Gods with Valley of the Gods, Nuclear with Violent DNA, One Morning Left with Neon Inferno, One with the Riverbed with Succumb, The Pale Horses with Enchantress, that's an EP, Peach Melba with Melting Face, Pedestal for Leviathan with Festering Apparition, that's an EP, Perfidious with Savoring His Flesh, Poltergeist with Knocked Music, Prophets of Addiction with Face the Music, Pounder with Thunderforged, Rat Out of the Cellar 40th Anniversary Edition, Recently Vacated Graves with Musk of Death, that's an EP, Recidivist with Madness Malformed, Reckless Manslaughter with Sinking into Filth, Remina with Erebus, Skamash with the Malador Chants, Old Ocean, Sedimentum with Derriere Les Portes Deun Arcane Transcendante, that's an EP, Seeking Akira with Cancel Estate, Self-Deception with Destroy the Art, Sentient Horror with In Service of the Dead, Sheer Division with Sal Lambo, that's an EP, Si Dos Quiere with No Angels, Silhouette with Le Dires de Iame, Sister Thieves with Crawl, that's an EP, Scarlet Riot with Celestia, Skinflint with Belloy, I don't know, Smoke Doomsday Prophet with a split album, Sorted with Ainsi Finite Les Jours, The Spirit with Songs Against Humanity, Spirit in the Room with Passengers, that's an EP, Taking the Head of Goliath with Futility of the Flesh, that's an EP, Thaw with Falling Backwards, Tiger Wine with Toil and Spin, Trauma Ray with Chameleon, Triumpher with Spirit Invictus, Trucker Diablo with Social Hand Grenade, Turkey Vulture with On the List, that's an EP, Termion Catalot with Reset, Twisted Mist with Gehenna, Underdogs with Nine Ties, Vananadir with In Silence Descent, Various Artists American Psycho comic series soundtrack, Various Artists Faster Than the Devil 3, Warrior featuring Vinnie Vincent, The Complete Sessions, Wizard with Saturnalia, and Zakula with White Forest Rain Lullabies. Good Lord, that's a long list. Jesus, I didn't think that was ever going to end. Yeah, thank you. Oof, man, that was a lot. So, and actually, there's quite a few quote unquote names in there. I mean, Deimos is Dawn, Crypta, Devin Townsend, Enforced, Exhausted, Fit for an Autopsy.
Not the crypto that we know, but that's one of the cryptos.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, there's
the female running, wasn't it?
Actually, it is.
I thought they thought there was a C.
No,
Sure?
I don't think so. Talking about the death metal band from Brazil, I think it's with a K. I could be wrong. I'll have to take a look at that, but I could be wrong. But
yeah, it's with a C. With a C.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm sorry. My mistake. I stand corrected. But yeah, so there's still quite a bit of stuff. Definitely, we will definitely both check out the new Deimos is Dawn.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because that'll be very good. But,
and if you want to check out the playlist, there was a new Reality Machine single. So.
Nice, yeah.
So
yep.
He sent that in the email.
Yeah, you did.
So, hey,
some more music from our friends.
Yeah. And I got the insight on Halo Scars working on new stuff. So I already got some demos from that. It's pretty bad.
Nice.
So,
and then
they got a lot of good announcements coming up. So we'll be able
cool
to share those as soon as they release them.
Right. And speaking of friends of ours, I think we may have already talked about this once, but we'll bring it up again between now and then because we want to let people know, especially anyone who's watching this locally. Our friends Ash's Rain are finally going to be in the mid-state. They're going to be in Murfreesboro on November 4th, which I know is election night and I know is a Tuesday night. And I know weeknights are tough, but they're going to be in Murfreesboro with No Connection and Deface the Dream, not Deface the Dream,
Symptom of the Universe.
Symptom of the Universe. Symptom of the Universe is a Black Sabbath cover band, tribute band. Sorry, they're a Black Sabbath tribute band who we have heard before. They are very good. And No Connection. I'm pretty sure they're from Murfreesboro. Dana could correct me on that if he was still here. But anyway, they're both Middle Tennessee bands. So they're going to be in Murfreesboro on the 4th. They're going to be in Nashville on the 5th with Deface the Dream and another band yet to be determined. So our friends from Virginia are going to be in Tennessee. Yes, it's on a weeknight, but if any of our fans here in the local area can make it out, it would be greatly appreciated, especially if you're a thrash metal fan, because Ash's Rain is a thrash metal band. They're going to be touring on, some of their stuff. They have a brand new single that's going to be releasing on November 1st. Hopefully I'm not giving anything away that's a secret. I don't think it is because they've been promoting on their social media. So yeah, so they've been talking about it on their social media. So hopefully I'm not giving anything away. So November 1st, they will have a new single come out. So when that releases, we'll share that. They'll be playing that. They'll be playing all of their other stuff. So if you're in Middle Tennessee and you can make it out, like I said, I know November 4th is election night. Get out and vote before that. That would probably be the best thing. Even if you're not coming to the show, just avoid the lines at the polls. But so I know Tuesday and Wednesday are kind of a pain in the butt for some people. I'm going to go. I know, Jason, you're going to go to one or two of the shows, if not both. I'm going to go to the one in Murfreesboro. And, it would be great to see you guys out there. I mean, hell, we'd like to meet you. We'd like to meet you. We'd like to have you come out and watch our friends, and we'd like to meet you. We'd like for you to meet the band. I think it'll be fun. I really do.
Yep, should be a blast. Other than that, in the meantime, if you want to listen to any of those jams, you can listen to it on our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week radio station at truly.radio247.com/2008/stream, which you see
That's right
across the ticker there.
Yep, it's playing right now.
Yep,
playing as we speak.
As soon as we get this playlist done, now to get added to it. So
absolutely, that's right. And if you want to send us any requests, the best way would be to email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com, or you can follow us on all of our social media platforms and send us a message there. We have X, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Rumble, we have Twitch, we have Spotify. Don't send us a message on Spotify because I don't think you even can. Our YouTube channel on Rumble, on X. I think that got them all. Our Facebook group and our Facebook page.
Yep.
Plenty of ways to reach us.
All right. Well, I guess that will wrap this bad boy up on time this week.
Yeah.
Does not happen very often.
No, it doesn't. It's not like us. So
anyway, hopefully. Yep. And by the way, I will be getting that interview from last week on Spotify this coming up week, so that should be uploaded and ready to go. So I will share that along on our socials. If you follow us over there, you will be the first to know. Or if you want to follow us on Spotify and get the update when we upload, that's fine too. So
absolutely.
But yeah, all of our band interviews are on Spotify, so if you ever want to check those out, they are there. And of course, if you want to filter through YouTube, you can see them there too as well. But that's way to see. And actually, Rumble has only the interviews, I think, and the TikTok or the
Metalhead Minute.
The Metalhead Minute. So,
so
if you filter through the Metalhead Minute, you can see the band interviews. So lot less filtering through there. So
that is true. That's true.
Yeah, YouTube has everything we've ever done. So
yeah. There's a lot of stuff at YouTube.
So, anyway. Hopefully, we will see you guys back here next week. Special time. Don't forget, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will have a guest on next week. So hopefully, we will see you then. And until then, keep those horns up high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you very much.